Hey, it's Eric G from Around the House. If you want flavor, ignite the summer, master the heat. Inspired by Southern grilling traditions, Monument Grills brings backyard barbecue to a whole new level with the powerful E605. It preheats to 500 degrees in just 3 minutes. 5-burner infrared power up to 89,000 BTUs. Dual fuel ready, Bluetooth smart controls, and eco-friendly LED touch panel. Solid stainless build, legendary performance, unforgettable flavor. Grill like a pro? Visit monumentgrills.com. That's monumentgrills.com, because this summer, you're not just grilling, you're mastering the heat.
Welcome to Around the House with Eric G, your go-to source for everything home improvement. Whether you're a DIY enthusiast or just looking to make your space shine, Eric G is here to guide you through the latest tips, tricks, and trends. So grab your toolbox, put on your thinking cap, and let's get to work right here on Around the House with Eric G.
Welcome to the Around the House show, the next generation of home improvement. I'm Eric G. Thanks for joining today. This is our midweek update. This is that show that didn't fit into last weekend's show on the radio and podcast or this weekend show. And we got a barn burner today. We're going to have a little fun here on this one, because when I get fired up on some of this stuff, when I see people being wronged, it reminds me that I'm in the middle of being wronged myself right now, which could be its own court battle. And we're going to talk about that today. One of the big things that I saw, again, this is something that I woke up to. I think I was watching Fox and Friends this morning, turning around, looking to see what was on in the news overnight. And I saw that a longtime family farm in Cranberry, New Jersey is of risk of being seized by the town through eminent domain. So this farm has been in the family for 175 years. And I guess they've been building warehouses and everything around it. They've turned down offers. They've done all this thing. They have said, nope, not going to sell it. This is going to be our farm. This is our work. This is our thing. The Cranberry Township came in after a town committee meeting and signed off on a measure that would pay for the eminent domain seizure that would take their farm away. And of course, you know how this goes with the government. They give you what they think is the fair value, not if you put it on the market and went to sell it. So the family farm, which is now leased out for cattle farming, has belonged to Christopher and Andy Henry for over a dozen years. They've spent a couple $100,000 into the property, and they've declined offers of up to $30 million from developers. Now the city wants to take it and make it affordable housing. Guess what? Yeah, I got a problem with that. I hope these guys fight. And even the Trump administration is pushing back. So they've got the USDA Rollins is going to be taking a look at this to see if they can stop it. Yeah, I've got a huge problem when the city come in, or county or state, comes in and pays you partially for what's owned. I get it if you're putting a freeway in. I get it if you're doing stuff like that, where you're up against it and that stuff happens. They want to take part of your land. Yeah, we all get screwed in that deal. But it's absolutely crazy to see a whole farm going away because the Cranberry Township wants to build on it. So I think they've got a big issue there. I think this one's going to blow up in their faces. I have one here in my neck of the woods in Portland, Oregon, and specifically Lake Oswego, where I live. So Lake Oswego was a little tiny lake 100 years ago. And I'm going to give you the background of Lake Oswego real quick, because most of you don't live in my area, so you don't know what I'm talking about. So originally, this was a iron town. We had a small lake, we had a foundry here, and it was really cool. So back in the day, how this started is this was mostly in Clackamas County. We have a couple different counties here, but most of it is in Clackamas County. A little bit of it is in Multnomah and Washington counties, which doesn't play a big part of this. But this city was founded in 1847 and incorporated in 1910. So it was the hub of our iron industry here in Oregon in the late 19th century. And we're considered a suburb of basically a suburb of Portland. We are south of there. The early Clackamas people occupied the land that later became Lake Oswego, and most of the natives died because guess what? The Oregon Trail pretty much ended within a dozen miles of here. So what happened is we came in, they founded the town of Lake Oswego in 1847, naming it after Oswego, New York, by the way. He built a sawmill on Oswego Creek, and basics started rolling here. They started putting the rail out here, so they needed the iron for that, and that's how that went. So they figured out that there was iron ore in the valley, and Oregon Iron Company was incorporated, and the first blast furnace on the West Coast was built. So this is where this was started out as the Pittsburgh of the West. Here's what happened. They built the lake bigger. People in Portland said, hey, let's go put up a cabin by the lake. And all of a sudden, this went from a blast furnace railroad town into a nice, quiet, beautiful place. So by 1890, the industry had produced 12,000 tons of pig iron, and its peak provided employment to about 300 men. So that, of course, blew up, like all things like that do. And they went through and cleaned everything up, and now it is a huge park where that area is. And they've closed up the iron mines and that kind of stuff for the iron ore, and it's good to go. This lake, the entire time, has been a private lake. So when I bought my property, it's not lakefront, it's nothing special. But when I bought my property, it has on my deed that I own a portion of the lake. So the people around the lake actually own the lake. It's on our deed to our property, and it's lake rights. Now, there is the Lake Corps, which is the corporation that was founded to maintain and operate the lake. We are partners in that. We own part of the Lake Corps. So we are part of that whole group. So the people around the lake own the lake. We've paid taxes on it because it's been on our property values. When I bought my house, I had lake rights, which means I paid a premium because I had the ability to go swimming. I had the ability to put a lake on there. If I had lived 16 blocks another direction, I wouldn't. Some people that wanted access to the lake, of course, that don't live close enough to the lake, decided to sue about a dozen years ago the state of Oregon, saying that all Oregon waterways are supposed to be public. Yeah, they are, except this one was always private. They went into a Clackamas County court, and that judge said, yeah, the state law says that has to be it. And now they have a small public access area because they won that court battle. Here's the problem. I'm losing my rights that I've been paying taxes for, that I paid for when I bought my house. I am not being compensated 1 ounce for that. So my opinion is the state and the county needs to compensate me for what my lake rights are worth and what they would be worth down the road, because it's an investment. They should make all of us people whole. They're taking something without us being compensated. So I reached out this morning to the Institute for Justice. I'm going to see if IJ can tackle this one. I'm looking to see if I can take on the state of Oregon and, of course, the county to see if I can get either my rights back or, because they haven't said that I don't own it, but we have the exclusivity that was part of that. So now we're going to have to take a look and see, how are they going to maintain that? Are they going to take care of doing the lake? And where are my rights? I have lake rights. So you need to purchase those from me and compensate me. That could be worth 6 figures. And that's something that I think we all need to stand up for when we have these eminent domain type things, when we have, as Americans, have invested in our futures, we've invested in our homes, and somebody comes by and takes it without proper compensation. Yeah, I got a problem with that. And yes, I understand that in urban renewal, growth, that things need to happen. We can't paint ourselves in a corner. So I get that there needs to be that, but there needs to be fair compensation for the people that are being victims of this. Whether you're in a farm in New Jersey, or if you own a lake house or a house here on the lake, if someone takes something from you from the government, you should be compensated. And I think we need to stand up as citizens for this type of stuff. It's happening to me right now. And I decided this morning I'm going to put a fight up for it. So stay tuned for more information on that. One other thing I wanted to touch, we've talked about it in this midweek special a little bit. This is our swan song. This is our last week of Around the House Northwest, but stay tuned. This is our television show here in Portland, Oregon on Fox 12 Plus that we do each week. This is our last episode. There will be not another episode on Fox 12 Plus or KPTV here in Portland. That is over. This is the last one. So I'm going to be working on this radio show, this podcast, our streaming, as well as I'm going to be working on putting another show together, coming up with even a better show. And we'll talk about it here next week a little bit more after my contract runs out. We'll talk a little bit more about what happened, how these things go about. How does TV work? It's a grind out there, and it's an incredible journey that I've gone so far. And I'll share that up next week after we get through my contract, because I want to make it through the rest of the week without them escorting me out of the building. All right, guys, have a great rest of the week. Enjoy yourself. I will be looking forward to vacation coming up here. I'm going to take some time off, even though I got to get this house ready for sale here in July. I got to get this thing done. So I'm going to have some work parties over here, and we're going to be rocking out this house and getting some content done and getting all those little projects finished up. My own personal honey-do list so I can move on to my next project. I'm Eric G. Thanks for tuning into Around the House. We'll see you Saturday.
Make sure to follow us on social media. Just head to aroundthehouseonline.com for all the links. Make sure you check out our new YouTube channel. Just type in at Around the House with Eric G and click subscribe and ring the bell for updates. We will see you next time.
Love song, let's be lovers. We're all over the radio. Take my hand, I know where to go. All over the radio with you.
Hey guys, it's producer Jim over at the Around the House show. Do you have an amazing product or service you want to expose to our audience? Head over to aroundthehouseonline.com and send us a message, and we can help you reach the smartest audience in home improvement. Head over to aroundthehouseonline.com and send us a message, and we can create a custom marketing program for you. Now let's get back to the show.